Justin Gaethje's pursuit of a finish. Justin Gaethje is known for being one of the most exhilarating fighters on the roster. He thrives in firefights, often charging forward with reckless abandon. In his first bout against Rafael Fiziev, Gaethje managed to snag a majority decision. For many fighters, a victory is a victory. But Gaethje wasn't satisfied, openly declaring that he's determined to silence any lingering doubts by securing a decisive finish this time. What's fueling this urgency? Insiders hint that Gaethje desperately wants another shot at the UFC lightweight title, especially with Islam Makhachev reigning at the top. Training partners claim he's worked tirelessly on polishing his accuracy, footwork, and head movement so he can dish out maximum damage while avoiding Fiziev's explosive counters. Gaethje himself has said he aims to fight smarter, not harder, but fans wonder whether he can truly resist the adrenaline-fueled brawls that made him famous. Fiziev's response and rematch drama. On the flip side stands Rafael Fiziev, a thunderous striker in his own right. He believes their last bout was too close for comfort and refuses to let the judges decide again. Some in his camp believe he let Gaethje set the pace in the final rounds. This time, Fiziev's training regimen has been more grueling, with extra emphasis on endurance. Rumor has it he's sparring with high-level kickboxers every other day, sharpening his reflexes to counter Gaethje's relentless offense. Still, the MMA grapevine hints at a minor injury Fiziev may be nursing, though his team insists it won't hamper him come fight night. His supporters argue that if the judges had seen certain exchanges differently last time, Fiziev might have walked away the winner. He's out to leave no doubt this time around, and the result could be a war that overshadows every other fight on the card. Star-studded predictions and brewing tensions. While Gaethje and Fiziev focus on each other, the MMA world is buzzing with takes from heavyweight names. Robert Whittaker and Colby Covington broke down the upcoming fights on Colby's YouTube channel, leaning toward an Alex Pereira knockout over Magomed Ankalaev if the Dagestani fails to blend in his wrestling. Meanwhile, Israel Adesanya echoed that sentiment, pointing out Pereira's deadly leg kicks and precise power. Fans are especially curious about Ankalaev's Ramadan obligations. The rumor mill suggests he might be dealing with tricky rehydration issues right after the weigh-ins, leading some to wonder if his cardio or overall sharpness might suffer. On top of that, there's talk that the UFC brass could be praying for a Pereira victory. He's already a proven pay-per-view draw, and a highlight reel finish would line him up for monster fights. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev, the collision. Alex Pereira is legendary for his striking credentials, and he's more than comfortable trading blow for blow. Magomed Ankalaev, however, has shown he's no slouch on the feet either, and he owns a potent ground game that many believe is his clearest path to victory. Publicly, Ankalaev has vowed to stand and strike, claiming he wants to prove he can hang with Pereira's elite kickboxing. Privately, though, even his close associates have hinted that grappling is his ace in the hole. The biggest wildcard here is Ankalaev's timing. If he chooses to wait before shooting for takedowns, will Pereira chip away at his legs and body, draining Ankalaev's stamina? Or could Ankalaev close the distance immediately, imposing top control and neutralizing Pereira's kickboxing? Dana White teased that if Pereira wins, he could move on to challenge the winner of a potential Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall fight. That kind of tantalizing possibility might be fueling Pereira to put on a show. Ankalaev, however, doesn't care for speculation. He wants that belt, and he believes he can outsmart and outlast Pereira wherever the fight goes. The Renato Moicano catchweight fiasco. Renato Moicano's name popped into the UFC 313 conversation when Dan Hooker withdrew due to a broken hand, leaving Justin Gaethje without an opponent. Online chatter quickly claimed Moicano was ducking Gaethje. In reality, he says he was simply too heavy, around 190 pounds, and couldn't safely cut to lightweight on such short notice. He proposed a catchweight bout, but the UFC reportedly insisted on sticking to 155, which led to the rematch with Fiziev. Moicano has bristled at accusations that he ran from the fight, insisting that he'd never shy away from a challenge if given enough time to prep. Still, the fiasco reveals how chaotic UFC matchmaking can be when unexpected injuries derail planned bouts. Fans might wonder what would have happened if Moicano and Gaethje had met at 165 or 170 pounds. For now, though, it's water under the bridge, and a reminder that last-minute matchups often hinge on more than just willingness or desire. The number on the scale can be the deal-breaker. Kamaru Usman and Curtis Blades. 2 warnings. Outside these marquee battles, Other big names have weighed in with direct advice. Kamaru Usman was blunt about Ankalaev's best chance to beat Pereira. Blend in wrestling or risk facing that terrifying left hook. Usman respects Ankalaev's striking, but insists Pereira's power is on another level. Meanwhile, Curtis Blades, soon to face Rizvan Kuniev, warns that underestimating a heavyweight, even a debuting one, can be disastrous. A single punch can end the night at this weight, as Blades knows firsthand, having been on both sides of highlight reel finishes. He also points out the psychological toll Kuniev might be feeling. Stepping into the UFC for the first time to fight a veteran who's battled top-tier heavyweights is no small mental hurdle. Blades, eager to rebound from his loss to Tom Aspinall, takes nothing for granted. Both he and Usman remind fans that the margin for error in MMA is razor-thin. One slight miscalculation can rewrite a fighter's future in a matter of seconds. Jalen Turner's reinvention. Jalen Turner's journey offers a more introspective storyline. After a frustrating run, just one win in his last 4, Turner realized the sport he once loved had become a chore. The pressure of rankings and expectations had dulled his passion. Determined to regain his competitive spark, he devoted nearly a year to honing his grappling, aiming to bolster the weakest parts of his skill set. It's a strategy that might catch some opponents off guard. Turner's always been known for his range and striking creativity, so if he now boasts improved takedowns and submission defense, he could become a vastly more dangerous opponent. His critics fear he might lose a step in his stand-up. But Turner dismisses those worries, saying he never stopped drilling his striking. He just rebalanced his training routine. Win or lose, he wants to reclaim the fun he felt when he first stepped into the cage. And sometimes, that internal transformation can spark a career resurgence. Future at stake: Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall, and beyond. Beyond UFC 313 looms a potential heavyweight superfight between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall, which Dana White insists could happen this summer. Fans grow jittery whenever Jones's name comes up. Injuries, contract disputes, and personal issues have often delayed his returns. But White remains adamant. They want Jones versus Aspinall, and they want it soon. If Alex Pereira wins at UFC 313, the speculation machine will kick into overdrive. A newly crowned light heavyweight champion trying to dethrone the heavyweight king would draw enormous numbers. Yet it's not so straightforward. Ankalaev has made it clear he wants to be recognized as more than a mere stepping stone. If he claims the belt, will the UFC give him equal star treatment, or will talk of cross-division matchups grind to a halt? With so many moving parts, the entire UFC landscape could look wildly different depending on how the main and co-main events unfold.